Edition 12. No more what's its face. Just make the effort. Remembering names seems to be an esoteric skill to those who are just name people, leaving the rest of us to be the, oh, I'm good with faces type person. And for years, I've subjected myself for the latter. It's not that I didn't want to remember names, it's just names never stuck, which I'm sure my fellow face people can relate to. Now, we all know remembering someone's name is a good thing, and so did I, but it just never really clicked. Until I had a lovely discussion months back with my cousin's wife. She mentioned how she didn't enjoy being called auntie and how auntie wasn't her name. And once one person calls you auntie, that noun becomes your name. And it's a damn good point she raises. She also mentioned, I like my name, call me my name. And that sentence stuck with me. This tidbit met with an abstract YouTube video explaining how you could get better service in a restaurant if you learned the waiter's name, were the right influences which sparked the click that I should change this. So I did what I do. I researched ways and techniques to better remember names, but I also asked around. For the people who do remember names, is it just down to solid memory, or is there more happening that just isn't being talked about? And you know what? There was no magic technique, nothing that surfaced. But from all the people who were name people, they all shared a similar mindset that they wanted to learn people around them's names. It was a deliberate effort on their part to remember the name of each person they met. And I can't say I had this, because when you know you're not good, the first thing that goes is the effort. I'm not good at remembering names, so I won't remember it anyways. Why bother? And you've lost before you got going. Haha, this was good news though, because it meant it was surely correctable. Simply making more of an effort to remember the people who you interact with's names is the single biggest difference you can make. But from the advice I received, there were some tricks. Writing down the names of people you meet really does help. The next time you see someone and you can't remember the name, you can quickly check your list and then greet them confidently using their name. And if you group them by category on how you interacted with them, it helps a ton. So for example, Kara or Kara, bootleggers, coffee, chatted about funny looking dogs. It takes a few seconds, but it makes a huge difference when looking back. Now, sometimes people don't have easy names, and I think you have a good 3 tries to ask their name before it gets very awkward. But often, asking for the spelling works well if you already gotten to the 3rd try. This doesn't take away from the fact that sometimes it can be awkward, and it just is what it is. But remember, the more people you learn the names of, the more sync points you have. There might not be anyone named Marichelle, spelled Meritxell. But the next time you meet a Marichelle, you will never forget that because it's linked. Abstract linking also works here. So the Conor Andrew you met outside a cafe can be linked to Conor McGregor. Who cares what the link is? Now you remember. The fact of the matter is you have to make an effort. I started with staff I interacted with, security I greet every day, waiters I purchase coffee from every other morning, personal trainers who walk around the local gym, petrol pump attendants who I usually see. It also makes you aware of the people around you. The art of just asking their name in conversation and using it to thank them, and then jotting it down shortly after, simply works for me. Perhaps it's a bit strange, but it's effort, and I've never been this good with the names before. Make no mistake, I'm not brilliant, and I'm still struggling, but the effort goes a long way in improvement. So yes, I might not be a natural names person, but with some genuine effort, you can turn yourself into one. You just need to be obsessed enough to get it right. If you are a names person, please hit reply and let me know if there's anything else that you do that helps you click better with names. Listening hustle culture. I got Audible and loved it. Now, the strange thing is, I knew I would like it, but I stopped myself for years. And honestly, I believed it would slow me down or stop me wanting to read, or just reading in general. But I recently learned that each thing you read, whether you're listening or physically reading it, is sort of just another leaf that you can add to your tree of knowledge. And it's about reading more holistically, not just practically. And you know what? A month later, I haven't stopped reading. If anything, I read more physically, but I've also gotten through so much more by listening than I ever would have. Because listening is a passive activity, and you can do it comfortably while doing lots of other things that don't need your attention. Total credit for Ali for the shift in perspective. It's strange how I blocked myself here. Pity, but we are now. But anyways, to celebrate the overall win, I've recorded this newsletter, so I hope you too can enjoy being able to passively listen while getting back from work or sorting something out. Something uninteresting. There's a naming convention concept that's based around themes. The coolest example I've come across is steaks. One product might be called Tomahawk, the other Sirloin. Basically anything in a collection or series. The same approach works with animals. Apple used big cats before they switched to California landmarks, naming their software releases each year. As a motion designer with plenty of drives, I used to name my hard drives after metals. It's always fun coming up with names that felt bold and distinctive. Carbon, silicon, iron, platinum, beryllium. They just had a certain edge to them. I've now, however, switched to colors as my theme. So my drives are now crimson, indigo, violet, scarlet. If you're still awake and listening to this, I'm really enjoying the change. But it's actually interesting because many companies use themes to name their products, making it more memorable. Razer names products after snakes. Razer Viper, Razer Cobra. Tesla car model spells out sexy, SEXY. Amazon smart devices are named after celestial bodies. Echo, Fire, Kindle, Luna. Google Android versions are named after desserts, cupcake, donut, and even Kit Kat. Themed naming helps brands create a sense of story, community, and personality across their products. Told you, totally amazing concept, right? This week's recommended favorites. YouTube, there's a lovely video about Lou Wall having a crazy story about Marketplace. The game I'm looking most forward to is Anu 117 Pax Romana, truly beautiful. Music is one scotch, one bourbon, and one beer, even though I don't drink. This is a fantastic version of the song. You've got to listen to it. Quote, and this is a good one, be more hopeful of what you may find along the way, not what you are already hoping for. I've also included a very funny, quite serious little meme at the end of this email. So if you want to scroll down and have a click, you may do so. Anyway, I hope you found this week's edition interesting, perhaps a little bit different with the audio experience. Thanks again for listening or reading. Let me know if you have any other thoughts. Take care and bye-bye. See you in the next edition. Your pal, Imraan.